right on his caught slipping. Oh shit! What the? She's 14. She's 14. She's 14. She looks like she's motherfucking. She can pass as maybe 17, bro. This nigga thought she was 18. But she lied about her age. It's not his fault. You feel me? Oh shit, it's about to go down. Oh fuck, not out in public. Ooh, who's a little friend? How old is she? Fuck. She's nah, let me chill, bitch. She can low-key be like 12 or 13, bitch.
Right, Shalom. First of all, all praises unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and double honors unto the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there on the highways and the byways teaching this word in all sincerity and truth. And this is just going to be a video which is going to be a historical and cultural analysis. This is not sexual advice, okay, in any way. Alright, you have laws determining the age of consent in your constituency. I suggest you keep it, otherwise you're going to end up in jail. Now, this is concerning the term jailbait and how it is a modern term built around modern principles and modern statutes, and it's not something which existed in ancient times for good reason. Now, the video you saw, what you saw was a reaction video, which I'll put the link to the guy's channel and the link to the original video in the box if you want to watch the whole thing, whatever the case may be. Is basically a mother confronting her 14-year-old daughter who is with a 21-year-old man. Now, as you can see, the 21-year-old thought she was 18. Why? Because of her sexual development. It's called secondary sexual characteristics. You got primary sexual characteristics, which would include in a woman, basically the period. The ovaries producing, that's your primary sexual characteristics. Your secondary sexual characteristics are breasts, your hips increasing, producing pheromones or whatever the case may be. All that stuff basically, which you pretty much see with your eyes, which shows you visually the difference between a little girl and a woman. That's the difference. That's the difference. When you look at a woman, sexually, she has to exhibit certain things. That's why when they do the research, children find it difficult to know the difference between an adult and an adult body and a prepubescent body, because children do not look at bodies for sexual characteristics, whereas adults do. When a man looks at a woman, he recognizes hips and he recognizes breasts, whereas because a man is sexually active, and it's the same thing with a woman. When a woman is looking at a man, she's looking for certain sexual characteristics, the shoulder width, the jaw width, and these things. It's something we automatically do as men and women. It's built into our biology, okay? It's a thing that it just happens. That's why you can't help it. If you see someone that exhibits sexual characteristics, you cannot help that. That's biological. That's it's gonna happen. If you see bumper and breasts and hips and a cute face, there's no ID necessary on a biological basis, okay? Because you're going off based upon what you see, and that's how you get the jailbait. Because when you bring in the age of consent laws, it creates jailbait. And that's what them girls were. The guy said, even the guy in the video thought she was 18. And then when he saw her friend, his first reaction, based upon what he seen with his eyes, not no ID, she didn't pull out no ID, what he saw with his eyes was hips, bumper, tightness, cuteness, sexual characteristics. That's what he saw. He saw a woman. Then he had to back himself up like, yo, she could be 12. And it's funny he said that. He said she could be 12 because she could be 12 because so forth. Alright, here's the cheerleader. Jailbait, man. Yeah? Jailbait. This is what jailbait, I don't know about this one over here. That's just Satan. I don't know where that got that one from. But I'm going to use this as an example. This girl is exhibiting secondary sexual characteristics which no male on the face of this planet Earth can deny if you're not a total faggot. Alright? Now, that's where you get the term jailbait from, and I'm going to read it to you in the definition. Okay? Jailbait. I use the Urban Dictionary. An attractive, by attractive it means sexually attractive, meaning she's exhibiting secondary sexual characteristics, man, which is biological. I didn't make this up. This is what happens in real life. See, all you guys out there that are emotional and are coming with these theories, what you're dealing with is theories. What we deal with is real life and practicality, which is of the scriptures, the truth. Okay, stop lying to yourself. An attractive underage girl, because the underage could mean anything, because here in the UK it's 16 and under. In certain parts of America it could be 21, or certain parts of the world is 18. The age of consent is different all over the face of the planet Earth, man. It's a bunch of arbitrary bullshit laws which were set up for the reason of control by the state, okay, and removing power away from tribes and fathers, okay. An attractive underage girl who you'd like to bang, but if you get caught banging her, you'll go to jail. So she's the bait that lures you into the jail cell, hence the term jailbait. Alright? Now, let's go to this article that I have here. Now, this is going back to the 1930s when these age of consent laws, mainly in America, were coming through. Because the age of consent laws are a fairly new thing. Alright? It's a modern phenomenon. It says, by the 1970s, feminist rape law reform, damn, I highlighted the wrong damn thing. Give me a second. That was my bad. Damn page must have changed. Let's do that again. There, oh, it's in the, it's lucky. Alright, okay, let's get this. This is what we want right here. It's lucky, okay. So legislators, however, did not reduce the legal age of consent. The resulting tension was reflected in a slang, most notably the American term jailbait. This is a real slang. This slang exists. Okay, this is not something that we're making up. This term exists. Dating from the 1930s, that registered cultural recognition of teenage girls, meaning young women, because there's no such thing as a teenager. That's adolescents and teenagers is a made-up concept. These concepts never existed in the ancient world. Okay, you had men and women. Okay, and that's it. As sexually attractive, even sexually active, but legally unavailable. See, in this society, what they've done is they've taken a group of women who are sexually attractive and yes, sexually active, and they've made them illegal to a whole group of men for no fucking reason. That's what is happening now in the modern age. Like I said, it's not sexual advice. You know, don't go out there and, do some stupid shit, get yourself put in jail by the jailbait. I'm just showing you here what has happened and been documented. American legislators did amend laws to make account of the offender's age during the 1940s and 1950s as teen culture expanded and female adolescents exercised their sexual autonomy. During and after World War II, if both the male and female were underage, or between 2 and 6 years above the age of consent, the punishment was reduced. So showing you it's nothing but BS, these new laws, but they're the ones that are in power right now, so we got to go by them. So any guys out there that are making a big deal about, they're actually making a big deal about a specific age, first of all, they don't understand biology, and secondly, they're going off the vibration of this world and its folly, which in that clip we saw, that whole commotion and conflict would never have occurred in the ancient world, because in the ancient world, that 14-year-old 21-year-old was a woman and that 21-year-old was a man, and as long as she didn't have a man or wasn't betrothed to another man or married to another man, that would have been completely lawful in the eyes of not only society but in the eyes of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And that's the difference between the ancient world and this modern day fucked up world which causes conflict for no damn reason. Okay, because that so-called girl, 14-year-old girl, was obviously ready for relations, which is why she was attracted to that man and the man was attracted to her biologically. But hey, what does biology know? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's only the way the Most High made us. You know, that's why jailbait exists. Jailbait would not exist, and it's a big problem. You know first of all, do you know how many so-called underage girls get into clubs with fake IDs? And you know why no one notices? Because they put on the short skirts and they show their breasts. They show their sexualization and they pass because they are women. And that's what women possess. Women possess sexual attraction. A child doesn't possess sexual attraction, man. Okay? Adults, men and women possess sexual attraction, man. That's why Akon got done. That's why a lot of these stars get done. That's how R. Kelly got done. You got men that come up to England from the islands, they get done because they don't think to ask for ID. As long as if they see a woman and she look good, okay, he'll deal with it. He ain't stopping it. Yo, how old are you? What's your ID? People didn't do that in the ancient world, man. Oh, you got ID? What kind of foolishness is that? You know a woman when you see one, man. Okay? I use this as an example. You see? There was another one that was funny. It was one that someone did, man. These memes are actually quite fucking hilarious, man. Was it this one? Jailbait now available at the beach. These are all jailbaits, man. These girls here, somewhere in the world, you'll get arrested for dealing with one of these females, man, because they're under 18 or whatever the case may be. It's madness, but hey, that's how it is. But as an Israelite, you're supposed to have it in the back of your mind what the ancient way is, and that's the way that it's going to go back to in our kingdom when this particular system is destroyed and done away with. Not now, but in our kingdom, things are going to go back to the natural order of things, man. Common sense and reality, where not this false paradigm that we're living under right now. Because trust me, even to this day, I know for a fact there's a whole group of 19, 20, 21-year-olds that are dealing with girls that are underage, man. It happens all the time. You was in school. Come on, when you was in school and you was 13, 14, the girls in your year that were more sexually developed were dealing with the boys from the years above. The boys from sixth form, and some of them were dealing with dudes from uni. I remember that. It was, guys were running the risk. Hell, you wanted to hit them girls, man. Them girls with the breasts and the, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, here's what it is, man. Okay, Romans 12:2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is the good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. And that's what this thing is all about. This is not about emotions, man. This is not about emotions. Like, let's just get this straight. There would not be no such thing as jailbait in the natural world if the so-called white man had not introduced these legislative laws in the modern era. Men would not be going to jail for dealing with women. That's the situation we're having right now. We're having men who are dealing with women being put in jail.